We are officially in the season of political permutations, and if you thought 2027 was far away, the good people of Abia State are here to tell you that the race has already begun. The political drums are beating in God's own state, and the sound is echoing all the way to Asorok. The headline that has set the Southeast political scene on fire today involves a powerful declaration from a group within the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Abia State. They have not only thrown their weight behind President Bola Tinubu for a second term in 2027, but they have also anointed their preferred candidate to wrestle power from the current governor, Alex Otti. And just to sweeten the deal, they have thrown in the ultimate wildcard, a demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We are breaking down this massive political development today, Friday, December 12, 2025, because it signals a major shift in the strategy of the APC in the Southeast. The group, known as the Ozurumba Movement, a pro-APC pressure group, came out swinging after a high-stakes meeting in Umuahia earlier this week. They didn't mince words. They declared that President Tinubu has done enough to deserve another 4 years, and they identified a former Minister of State for Science and Technology, Chief Henry Ikoh, as the man with the capacity and competence to lead Abia State come 2027. Now, let's unpack this layer by layer because there is a lot of subtext in this declaration. First, the Tinubu endorsement. We know that the Southeast has traditionally been a tough terrain for the APC. In 2023, the region voted overwhelmingly for the Labour Party and Peter Obi. So, for an Abia group to come out this early in December 2025 to endorse Tinubu for a second term, it shows that the APC is not ready to give up on the region. The coordinator of the Ozurumba Movement, Dr. Uzuegbu Uchechi, gave specific reasons for this endorsement. He didn't just say we support him, he listed achievements. He pointed to the stabilization of the naira, which we have seen fluctuate but stabilize recently, the reduction of national debt, the student loan scheme, and the financial autonomy for local government. He also mentioned the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, which is a project that once completed will massively benefit the economic corridor of the South. But the real local juice is the endorsement of Chief Henry Ikoh for governor. Who is Henry Ikoh? For those who follow Abia politics closely, the name is not new. He served as a minister under the Buhari administration, stepping in to fill the slot for Abia. He is an industrialist, a man who has factories and businesses on the ground in the state. The Ozurumba Movement argues that what Abia needs right now is not just a banker, a subtle shade at Governor Alex Otti, but an industrialist who can create jobs. They stated that Ikoh's industrial ventures in Abia would help accelerate the state's march towards industrialization. Now, this sets up a fascinating battle for 2027. On one side, you have the incumbent, Governor Alex Otti of the Labour Party, who has been receiving accolades for his infrastructure projects and clearing of pension backlogs. On the other side, the APC is regrouping, trying to present a candidate who has federal might and local industrial credibility. The Ozurumba Movement is essentially saying, Otti has tried, but we need to align with the center to get the real industrial growth. It is the classic center versus regional political debate that has defined Nigerian politics for decades. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You cannot talk about Southeast politics without talking about the IPOB leader who is currently serving a life sentence at the Sokoto Custodial Center following the judgment by Justice James Omotosho last month. The Ozurumba Movement was very clever in their statement. They didn't demand his release as a threat, they framed it as a peace offering. They urged President Tinubu to consider granting a presidential pardon to Kanu. Their argument is that releasing Kanu is the key to restoring absolute peace in the Southeast, which would in turn create the enabling environment for the APC to thrive. This is a strategic masterstroke if it works. By linking their support for Tinubu 27 to the release of Kanu, they are trying to solve two problems at once. First, they want to show the Abia people that the APC cares about their son. Second, they want to give Tinubu a valid political reason to release him. Release him and we deliver the Southeast votes. It is a quid pro quo. We know that Governor Alex Otti has also been visiting President Tinubu recently, and reports say his visits were centered on Nnamdi Kanu's welfare and release. So you have a situation where both the Labour Party governor and the APC stakeholders are competing to be the ones who secured Kanu's freedom. The APC group does not want Otti to take that glory alone. If Otti secures Kanu's freedom, his re-election is almost guaranteed. But if the APC can claim that their pressure and their alignment with Tinubu brought Kanu home, then Henry Ikoh stands a fighting chance. I want to take a moment to engage you guys on this Henry Ikoh factor. We often see former ministers come back to run for governor. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Henry Ikoh was the Minister of State for Science, Technology and Innovation. During his time, he spoke a lot about using technology to drive the economy. But being a minister in Abuja is very different from running a state like Abia, which has deep structural challenges. Do you think an Abuja politician can unseat a governor who is on the ground working? Governor Alex Otti has built a reputation for being prudent and visible. For Henry Ikoh to win, he needs more than just the Ozurumba movement. He needs the federal might. And that is exactly what this endorsement is trying to secure. The group's legal advisor, Mr. Uba Sisi, added another layer to the argument. He noted that Ikoh's recent appointment, which is still fresh in the news circles, and his track record shows capacity. But capacity is a word politicians love to use. The real question is, can the APC structure in Abia unite? We know the history of APC in Abia. It has been fraught with factions, court cases, and infighting between the Odiazu Kalu camp, the Ikechi Emenike camp, and others. For the Ozurumba movement to push Henry Ikoh, it implies they are trying to build a third force or unify the existing factions under a new face. Let's look at the broader 2027 implications for President Tinubu. The president knows that to secure a comfortable second term, he needs to expand his base beyond the southwest and the north. The southeast has been the hardest nut to crack. But politics is dynamic. If the APC can present a convincing economic argument like the Lagos-Calabar Highway and local government autonomy and couple it with the emotional victory of releasing Nnamdi Kanu, the narrative in 2027 could be very different from 2023. The Ozurumba movement is positioning itself to be the vehicle for that message. But there is a risk. Endorsing Tinubu this early when many Nigerians are still feeling the pinch of economic reforms could backfire. The average man on the streets of Aba or Umuahia is dealing with the cost of rice, the cost of transport, and the general inflation. Hearing a group praise the president for stabilizing the economy might sound disconnected from their reality. The group mentioned that Tinubu has demonstrated the capacity to navigate Nigeria through its challenges, but the man in Ariaria market wants to see the price of goods come down, not just navigation. The call for Kanu's release is also a double-edged sword for the president. The courts have spoken. Justice Omotosho gave a life sentence for terrorism. For the president to intervene now with a pardon, he would have to weigh the reaction from the security agencies and the Northern Conservative bloc. It is a delicate balance, but the fact that his own party members in Abia are publicly calling for it gives him a soft landing. He can say, "I am listening to my party faithful and the leaders of the region." We also have to consider the Ozurumba factor. In Igbo political philosophy, Ozurumba implies something that is known everywhere or reaches everyone. By choosing this name, the movement is signaling that they want this agenda to be grassroots-based, not just an elitist Abuja affair. They want to sell Henry Ikoh not as a former minister, but as a local industrialist who understands the pain of doing business in Abia. Governor Otti's camp will definitely not be sleeping on this. They have seen the moves. The recent rumors that Otti was planning to defect to the APC, which he vehemently denied, stating his visits to Tinubu were solely on Nnamdi Kanu, shows that the APC is desperate to either take him or break him. Now that they have raised Henry Ikoh as a contender, the battle line is drawn. It is no longer about courting Otti to join APC, it is about preparing to defeat him with an APC candidate. So, where does this leave the Abia voter?
They are now presented with an early choice: stick with the new Abia of the Labour Party and Alex Otti, or switch lanes to the mainstream politics of the APC with Henry Ikoh promising federal connection and potentially Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. It is going to be a battle of narratives, a battle of performance versus promise. I really want to hear your take on this Henry Ikoh endorsement. Do you think he has the political weight to challenge Alex Otti? We saw how Otti dismantled the PDP structure in 2023. Can the APC build a formidable war chest to challenge him? And what about the Tinubu 27 endorsement? Is the Southeast ready to look at the APC with fresh eyes, or is this just a group of politicians positioning themselves for contracts and appointments? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is the call for Nnamdi Kanu's release genuine, or is it just a political tool for 2027? And if you were in President Tinubu's shoes, would you trade Kanu's freedom for Southeast votes? It's a heavy question, but this is the street voice, and we ask the hard questions. If you are enjoying this deep dive into the political chessboard of Nigeria, please do me a favor and smash that like button. It helps the algorithm share this video with more people who need to know what is coming in 2027. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We are tracking every political move, every defection, and every endorsement as we march towards the next election cycle. The Ozurumba Movement has cast the first stone. They have named their man, Henry Ikoh. They have named their president,